I'm Nick Sterling. I'm a singer-songwriter out of Salado, Texas right now. I am originally from Hawaii Kai, Hawaii, but been in Texas for years and I'm never going to leave. I've got an album coming out on February 23rd. It's going to be called Stand Your Ground. It's my debut EP, and I'm donating all the profits back to the Lone Survivor Foundation. The foundation's been like family to my wife and my son and I. They took us in when I was struggling to find my next mission in life after the military, and after work that took me to dangerous places, I decided we needed to do something different, and I needed to find that next fight, that next mission that didn't put me in harm's way and that could still provide for my family. And so the Lone Survivor Foundation's been like family to my family. They took us in when I was struggling to find my next mission, my next fight after the military. I was having issues just trying to find who I was going to be now, what I was going to do. If I wasn't a soldier, if I wasn't a grunt, what was I going to do with my life? And they helped me find that and focused me towards music. Accidentally, really. I found myself on stage at Texas Frog Fest a couple years back, just playing because somebody asked me, "Hey, do you want to play? I heard you singing the other night." And I went up and played a song and met a bunch of other musicians and realized how inclusive the Texas music scene can be and how supportive they are. And they wanted to support me with my music because songwriting was such a healing thing for me. It was healing for my wife, it was healing for the people around me, for the guys that I served with. So I started writing these deeply, deeply, deeply personal songs about not just kicking down doors and gunslinging, but about the real kind of personal loss and grief that we deal with on a daily basis, even years after combat. And my brothers related to this extremely. And the people that I was playing with, I found, were relating to it because depression and anxiety, veterans don't corner this market. And there's a lot of people that experience these things, and I'm hitting in that aspect of it, just seeing it from it, obviously in extremely extreme circumstances, but finding a way to sing about it so it's everyone still relates to it, even though I'm singing about these personal things. Decided I finally got to around to saying I want to record an album. I want to record something. I want to give something back to these people who've supported me. I wanted to write this music so that other people could hear it outside of the bars and the places that I was playing in, so that other people could hear and see how far it went, to see if it could help anybody else the way that my own music helped me. And I knew that if I didn't want to profit off of my service. I didn't want to profit off of the memory of my brothers. I didn't want to profit off of the grief that I felt. And so I decided to donate all the profits back to the Lone Survivor Foundation, because I've seen them help people. I've seen them help guys who were a day away from taking their own lives, and that's something that's important to me. I mean, that's the whole reason I play and I write music, right? Is for the hope that one day even one person hears it, and then that pushes them to just, at the very least, it motivates them or inspires them to just make it one more day. And that's the whole reason we do this thing. I mean, there's nothing more to it for me, honestly. I want to push it back, so I know that if I can get as much as I can funding to them, they're going to do the right thing with it. And if my career keeps on going forward, I'm going to keep giving back every chance I get. That kind of moment when I realized I wanted to give the money back, I was playing a show in Houston before this last Frog Fest, and this last Frog Fest, I actually got to play in it. They gave me a slot, and I played at Firehouse Saloon with a buddy before that, and the people that came out to support us were all part of other veterans organizations, people from the foundation, and they came. I just kind of realized that we're a giant community and a network of people who care about each other and want to help each other, even though we're different organizations, different companies, different entrepreneurs of different types of businesses, and we just all support each other. It didn't make sense to me to do something, especially when they gave me the focus to do it, and they're giving me the support to just keep it all to myself. And I talked to my wife about it, and I realized that if we gave all the profits away, it's not because we don't need the money, because obviously anyone nowadays needs the money, but we don't need it because we're happy where we're at. We live modest. I mean, we're not an extravagant family, and we knew that I can take a hit and we can cut some other things if it means that we can give back to people to help them. So I started playing. I started learning guitar in high school. We even had a guitar in Iraq that I would play and pick around on. I was god awful. I've been god awful. I'm still pretty bad. Honestly, I'm not that great at guitar, but I'd always been singing and playing. And after I got out of the military, I went to San Marcos, went to Texas State, and every now and then I go to the songwriter circle. But music never entered into my mind as a profession, because anything, it didn't make sense to me, because I always hear this in the back of my head: get a real job. Because in the military, it's like that's a job. You get out, you get a job, or you just do a 9 to 5, whatever it is, or you go back into contract and you do whatever you do. I always imagine myself going back overseas and saying, well, this music hindered me. If I started doing this and quit my studies or quit my job, whatever I was doing, I'm never going to go overseas. Me stopping everything to focus on music basically is me saying I'm never going to go back over. And that was the hardest thing for me to ever. It's still tough for me to say that that's not going to happen, but that was part of what the foundation helped me do, is realize I don't have to go back to feel like I'm productive and feel like I have a purpose. And so but I played there, and I just kind of off and on. And about a couple of years ago, actually I know the exact moment, I got to talk to, you have to put this in there, I got to talk to him in Clark Green a couple weeks ago, and it's like, because me, my wife, and my buddy went to see, we were front row for Lynn Clark Green's Live at Green Hall album on his Saturday night. And after we left, they both said after in the car, they're like, you should probably play music, because that's pretty damn cool. I was like, I should play music, huh? But at that point, I would do some writing, and it wasn't long after that Foundation kind of pushed me in that direction, and I found, or at least the way they helped me, I ended up following that direction, and I kind of realized that I could do this. I started playing around, and this brewery was one of the first spots I ever played. Played a couple open mics, got picked up, and within a few months I was making enough full-time money that my wife is a stay-at-home mom, and I'm just a student, and I don't have to work anymore. I think I'm very, very lucky and blessed that I'm able to do that. I definitely don't take that for granted. It's a lot of playing, but it's that I'm able to do it and still do an album, that's what I'm really grateful for, because that took a lot of saving, and I'm putting a lot of money back. I'm putting a lot of weight behind it, and failure is always possible in this business. You never know what can happen, so I'm taking a lot of risk on it, but that's why I'm still in school too. It's like I've got a son now. I gotta have backup plans on backup plans. So if something did happen, if the album does great, but I don't get any of the money, if I fail because of that reason, I'll be fine with that. If I don't make it because I didn't take any of the money from that album, but it still went to a good place and it went well, then I'll be completely fine with that. But I'm hoping I get to do this for the rest of my life, because this has probably been the best thing for my life and my marriage and everything. So we're just as happy as we've ever been. Every song on the album has very, very personal Army ties, and it's funny that Blood in the Water is on there, because that's the one that I didn't write from the first person. Everything else is straight from kind of my eyes, wanted to see. And Blood in the Water is about me watching my buddies' marriages fall apart. Because I was young, so I was single, and I would watch them on the every now and then we'd have a phone call on these tiny little booths that have like 7 phones in them, and every chance that we were able to, we go watch it, and you could tell that things weren't going well, and they didn't know what to do. The premise of that song is that they can sense it happening, and you know it's happening, but there's nothing you can really do about it because you're so far away. And so what do you say? You don't want to start an argument when you know you're not going to talk to them for the next month, and you don't want to break up with them, and the wife isn't going to break up with you because then she feels like she's a terrible wife for breaking up with a soldier that far away, and he's not gonna do it. Like it's just a weird game that they're playing from so far away. Because what else can you do at that point? You don't know what's gonna happen. And I think that's a very I'm glad that his song is the first single, because that's something that anyone can relate to. Since I got out of the military, I've had long distance relationships, and I mean it's the same. It's really the same concept. So that's not something that just military deals with. It took some convincing. It wasn't a quick, especially with the baby, and it wasn't easy for me either. Like kind of at least she has a lot of belief in me, and I have a lot of belief in. I don't have a lot of belief in not just like my talent or anything like that, but I have a lot of belief in the fact that I don't know how to quit. Like Clear the Path, where there's a line in it that says, "I'll drive this train in flames in the ground." That's literally me saying I'm gonna go down with my ship if I have to. I'm gonna do this until I die, if I like it, as much as it takes, because I just don't know how to quit. And I think she knows that too. So she knew that if it hurts us in the short term, it may help us in the long run. And she understood that. She thinks long term, and I just think, well, I just know I'm not gonna quit, so it's gonna work out. It's gotta happen, or so it's either gonna be really good or really bad. Hopefully. Because I think she always said, she's like, well, you're probably going to end up either really famous or homeless, so it's one or the other. I mean, there's a lot of guys out there that are just like me, you only see two aspects of veterans nowadays. Either they're just really hardcore, make funny videos on Instagram vets, and then the movie vets that are just always severely effed up. Like, those are the only two that people really see nowadays, because it's just the way the media kind of portrays and the way it kind of comes out. And there's a lot of in between who are just like me, who are really highly functional. We can take care of ourselves, take care of our families, but we still deal with a lot that holds us back. And usually it's ourselves holding us back. We deal with this. You get a lack of purpose in your life. And to be honest with you, I could probably thank my son for a lot of my music purpose now, because now I have somebody to go play for. I have somebody to go make money for. I have somebody that I want him to see me working hard as he goes up. I want him to see that I'm doing something, because entrepreneurial endeavors are just giant risks to begin with, anything you do like that. So I want him to see that even though I'm taking this risk, you can work hard and you can succeed. So if nothing else, I'm succeeding. I want to succeed so that he can see that you can do anything you want. I mean, thinking of all the places I've been and things I've done, and now looking at myself doing this and recording music videos, I mean, that's out of control. For me, that's definitely never where I thought I would be. But doing this album is going to mean the absolute world to me. Being able to hand the Lone Survivors Foundation a check, and being able to play for my guys that have supported me since I was 18 and didn't know what the hell I was doing in Iraq, but I knew I just wanted to go fight. I wanted to kick down doors. I wanted to serve my country, and that's all that I thought. And they always saw more in me for years, and they never stopped supporting me in whatever I wanted to do. And then I'm doing this now, and I've got guys like, man, I've been telling you to do this for 13 years. I'm like, well, it's crazy that this is where I ended up, because I definitely know this is where I'm gonna be for a long time. And the whole point of the album, the way I structured it, the last song is just getting started, and I wrote it about a buddy who was he believed to his very core that when he died he was going to go Valhalla. Like, we had a lot of guys believe a lot of things, and that's really what he thought. And so I wrote it about him, but the very last line is basically me just screaming, just getting started. And like, that's really kind of what I'm trying to say with this album, that I'm new, I'm inexperienced, not an outstanding musician, but I'm here to stay, and I want to. This is going to happen for me, just because I just know that I'm just never going to quit. It's just trust me, this whole thing is weird to me still. Like, playing music videos, playing with guys like that, and some of the people I've played with, and I'm opening for guys, and I'm friends with songwriters that my wife and I would listen to on Spotify not 6 months ago, and it's weird to think kind of where you went with that, especially because music is you're literally putting your heart and your soul and everything out there in a song, and musicians get rejected and told no more than damn near anyone else in any business. And so they're not just rejecting your talent or your whatever business they're rejecting your soul when you say no, you're not good enough. I mean, it's a weird business to get and want to get into when you know you're going to get told no. It takes some tough skin, which maybe that's why I'm doing all right, is because I've still been told no a lot, but I've got pretty tough skin from the military. Maybe that's why. That's a good way to look at it, especially with all this stuff we've been doing. We're releasing. I've been working, staying up all night, marketing, promotions, getting all the release, distribution, manufacturing, all the artwork, the photography, trying to get booking in the same time. And then I'm like, oh crap, I still have to play these damn songs. I forgot. I better start practicing. I better start getting this stuff right because I got to do this. And then it's weird to think about, because you can do the 95% of work that it is of all of running the business that is music, and then show up for all that work you did and bomb on stage, and all of it was for naught. Like, you have to remember that no matter what, that's the most important aspect, is having a good show and connecting with the audience. Because if you bomb there, then everything you did was just all for naught. It's crazy stuff, man. Trust me, my wife is still like, people like you? Because I've had fans show up, she's like, do you know them? I'm like, no. They're like, she's like, that's so weird. I'm still so used to just me liking you and me listening to you. And like requesting songs, I'm like, I haven't even released that song. How do you even have that? I don't even have anything on Spotify yet. How do you even know that? Like, it's kind of it's a really crazy thing. But I think one thing I'm very happy about finding out in the Texas music scene is that authenticity is rewarded. With fans are very quick to call out fakeness and aggressively call it out. If you're authentic and you have integrity in your lyrics, you're truthful, and they know that you're real, they're very accepting no matter what type of music you play. I mean, Texas country is it's barely even a genre anymore. It's such a mix of all these types of genres brought together, and they all play together, and that's normal. And that's kind of where I had a thought. It's like, man, I could probably play in this because I've got a much different voice. I didn't grow up in Texas, so I don't have a natural heavy drawl or anything, or low, especially I can't sing low. So it's like this, it was like, man, I might actually be able to write my music and be truthful and not try to be anything else and do my music and it be accepted, and it just did. I was like, so that's one thing I was really happy about, because I kind of took a swing at it and say, I'm just going to play what I feel like I write, and then people loved it. I meet a lot of guys that are, I've met a lot of people who are off and on with Parker or Co. or whatever it is, and like for or against them, it's pretty divisive. It's like, man, they like it because they're authentic with who they are. They don't try to fake it. I mean, you put your mugshot on an album cover, you're kind of putting out there who you are. And there's nothing fake about that kind of thing. I think that's why they get accepted so well, because they're not trying to be something they aren't. I mean, there's so many different types of music and musicians and types of people out there who are songwriters. And plus, nowadays, you're so accessible, it's impossible to fake something and not be who you are, because all the social media, the accessibility to you after shows, it's easy to see who's an image and then see how they actually are. It's not hard to find out. Plus, rumors spread like wildfire on Twitter nowadays, so it's not. I gotta find me on Instagram and Facebook at Nick Sterling Music, Twitter at nsterlingmusic, and be on Spotify January 19th with Blood in the Water, and the whole album on February 23rd.
always as you get older. The older we get, the more you tell me how it's gonna flow. And the harder you push, the further that I feel from home. I hear you breathe, I feel your heart. It's taking a toll. This time we're apart. I know you can't tell, but you're making this harder. 'Cause even from miles away, I can smell the blood in the water. Laid so still on the surface, the current runs deep, it'll drag you down. This catch and release is hell on the heart. I tell you how I feel, but I don't know where to start. I hear you breathe, I feel your heart. It's taking a toll. This time we're apart. I know you can't tell, but you're making this harder. 'Cause even from miles away, I can smell the blood in the water. I hear you breathe, I feel your heart. It's taking a toll. This time we're apart. I know you can't tell, but you're making this harder. 'Cause even from miles away, I can smell the blood in the water. Running this steel into barren lands, burning my back, tearing my hands, building this far as it will go. Taking my legs, breaking me down, bleeding all over these outcast sounds. I won't stop until we're free. And I won't be bound. I'll drive this train in flames right into the ground. I won't hold back. I'll leave it all out right here. All these tracks, I'll clear the path. Smoke building up from the engine behind. Just keep laying these rails and we'll be just fine. 'Cause we're gaining steam with every tie and bolt. Mountains ahead, storms above. No time for detours or give it up. Throttle down and plow straight through like we were born to. I won't be bound. I'll drive this train in flames right into the ground. And I won't hold back. I'll leave it all out right here. All these tracks, drive this train in flames right into the grave.